This weekend was full of much needed daddy-daughter time. With all my accomplishment, being a father is top 2 and not the 2. Yes, my daughter's hair is real. Your boy did a good job, stop playing, #girldad. Texturism just living in your head rent free. Just like you can't even get by without just like, oh, my daughter has good hair. Like, babes, is it that bad?
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's world. Hi y'all, welcome to Mayowa's world. Today's topic is going to be around texturism and obsessing over your child's loose, curly hair texture. For those who are new, texturism is the discrimination of kinky hair. I've talked about texturism a lot on my platform, but something that I've been thinking about is the ways in which parents intentionally choose to either like marry or reproduce with people who are going to give their children either lighter skin or looser hair. I don't think we talk about that enough. So the inspiration for today is actually about Shannon Sharpe and his obsession with his child's loose hair. So Shannon Sharpe, who makes football commentary and other kinds of commentary around sports, shared this picture on Twitter with this caption. This weekend was full of much needed daddy-daughter time. With all my accomplishment, being a father is top 2 and not the 2. Yes, my daughter's hair is real. Your boy did a good job, stop playing, #girldad. I'm sorry. What? So I often talk about the way texturism affects women, but something that we don't talk about enough is the ways in which some Black men are able to bypass confronting their texturism within by constantly having their hair cut short, okay? But a lot of people intentionally keep their hair short because they don't really want to confront the kinkiness of their hair. So like their hair is constantly short, and when it grows out, they're just like in kind of disgust of their hair and chasing to get it cut again. I just off of my own assumptions of the kind of person who writes a post like this, I am assuming Shannon Sharpe falls into that category of people. So this line of thinking that Shannon Sharpe has is also what fuels people to either try to mimic this specific kind of hair texture. That's why when I talk about texturism and like all of the isms, I often am saying that like people who have this hair texture that he feels is worthy of praising within natural hair, this is like what he wants to see. But keep in mind, when I look at Shannon Sharpe's exes, I don't see anyone who's dark skinned. I don't see anybody who's even really Black. I think he probably does. It looks like he dates predominantly white women. This is the kind of natural hair that people want to see. And because it's the kind of natural hair that people want to see, it's going to either leave Black people to do one of multiple options. Either you hide your hair, you wear your hair constantly in protective styles like braids or twists, you wear a weave, which is trying, you know, somehow of a, like it's aiming for a more Eurocentric standard of beauty that allows you to have doors open for you and opportunities because it's seen as like the acceptable kind of hair texture, or you wear your natural hair out. And if your natural hair is kinky, if your natural hair is short, if your natural hair, like for me, I have my natural hair, my hair is in locks, like, you know, that's its own experience. All 3 options that you do as a Black woman, you literally will be judged for every single one. If you wear a weave, people are gonna hate it. If you wear your box braids, people are gonna make fun of your box braids for growing out and looking nappy. If you wear your natural hair, once again, you're gonna be told it's nappy, you're gonna be told that it's unprofessional. So it's interesting to me when he wrote this comments and I'm seeing the responses of people defending him and saying things like insecure wig bandits foaming in their mouths. Something I thought was really interesting was just like how we demonize women for like wearing weaves, but the reason that we're wearing weaves is because the system that's in place that doesn't allow a lot of us to wear our natural hair and be employed in like conventional workplaces or be found attractive, right? So now the options that we're doing for survival are now like seen as a funny thing and seen as just essentially being jealous and angry all the time, like falling into the Black angry stereotype. And this is why I always say with the natural hair movement, I don't believe in like separating or shaming people for the option that they choose to do to survive. I will speak to what it means systemically, but I've always said like I'm not going to judge how Black a Black woman chooses to survive in this system, because this is what, look at our deck. Our cards are like fucking bad. I remember when I used to have a weave, there's always this subtle feeling, or like kind of knowing that it's a rebuttal about the fact that it's not your real hair, even though you bought it. So really, it's actually your real hair because you've bought it. But you know, there's always this feeling like, oh, it's not your real hair. Oh, but the people who are at the top of the hierarchy, the people at the top of the hair hierarchy, people who have real hair that's straight, real hair that's curly, real hair that's not kinky, those will always be the people who are at the top of the hair hierarchy. And those who wear weaves and lace fronts to cover their natural hair that's probably kinky in hopes of looking like it's, you know, straight and more socially acceptable, those people still are going to be always like put down in relativity to those who have that naturally straight, naturally curly hair, which typically is a lot of times people who are mixed race. And also to another thing, like when Shannon said this, I just thought it was so interesting because like nobody was asking, like you are just involuntarily introducing that your child has good hair. Like it's very coded. Like of course he's not saying that, but we can really read between the lines. And the amount of people who are defending him saying like he's just trying to uplift natural hair, so what, he can't uplift somebody who has natural hair, or like he can't uplift natural girls. That's not what he's doing, right? Because I'm not expecting, it'd be different if I saw him talk about somebody who has like 4C hair and is like, wow, look at this really pretty hair. But we all know, like, I don't know, this like pretending, like this like kind of like pretending to be obtuse about these issues is just really aggy, because I know that you're not trying to be an advocate for natural hair. Because if you were an advocate for natural hair, you'd be speaking up about people who are losing job opportunities because of their hair texture. You'd be analyzing the workforce that you work in and seeing how many people actually have kinky hair that are working in this job that I have. And it's probably not going to be many. Those are real people who are trying to combat texturism, people who even say the word texturism. Those are people who are trying to advocate, right? You trying to point out that your daughter has like a loose hair is just trying to kind of gloat. And it's just also strange because these are the people who they also, like a lot of times men like this are also attracted to. So it's so strange that you have a daughter who has this hair texture and you're like, I don't know how to put it into words. If you know what I'm talking about, write it in the comments, but it's weird. It kind of reminds me of when YG was at Nipsey Hussle's funeral and made this really bizarre colorist comment.
Like I was having conversations with Nip about, I'm like, look, bro, we got some light-skinned, pretty girls we gotta raise. We in trouble, my.
Though I feel like what they see in their children is like their complexion and their hair texture and their like features that is like pushing away from Blackness. And I always wanted to say this because I was having a conversation about this recently, but I think a lot of Black people are scared to have children that look like themselves. They're scared to have children who are Black, and they are intentionally like finding people to marry who will push their children away because they just know that they don't want to reproduce where they're at. But I don't think they have the cognitive realization to just kind of be like, wow, I'm actually chasing away myself. I'm trying to get rid of myself, which is why I talk so much about dark skin erasure, because it is a systemic thing of not only of like globally or like media representation wanting to erase dark skinned people, but also like the self-fulfilling prophecy of wanting to remove the parts of ourselves that we feel like is just so painful, but we don't really have the analysis on anti-Blackness, colorism, texturism, featurism. Another thing about this conversation that really annoyed me was the amount of people saying like, oh, you guys want to write think pieces about everything. Y'all get upset about everything. This always comes with any backlash that is very problematic, specifically against a lot of Black women. But the think piece here was his sentence, because can you imagine writing all that to then just ruin it at the end? Like, texturism just living in your head rent free. Just like you can't even get by without just like, oh, my daughter has good hair. Like, babes, is it that bad? And also too, I just think it's so funny that he says that and like he's not talking about his own hair texture. Like, another comment I thought was interesting was someone saying Shannon Sharpe's daughter is proof that Black women can actually embrace their real hair. Stop wearing Asian horse hair. We want women with real hair. And I just thought that, like, okay, that comment is just like really rude and disrespectful. But this is, once again, you know, we talk about like hierarchies and how like when one group is affected, it's going to trickle down and affect every single group. Because he's saying that we want women to wear their natural hair, it also pushes within the realms of natural hair us to show like styles that manipulate our hair texture to be looking like ringlets, to be looking like this kind of wash and go, loose curled mixed race like aesthetic, right? So it actually affects, like, these kinds of narratives affects not only people who are choosing to wear weaves and who are somehow made to feel like less than because they don't have their real hair out, but it affects people who actually have their real hair out, who have the kinkiest hair texture that doesn't look like his daughter's hair. And people are saying like, oh, I'm sure she gets all the comments about her hair not being real, so like, let's not downplay it. But like, were we gonna go to Shannon to ask him to tell us his hair? Like, I don't know if, I really believe if Shannon posted a picture of his daughter, I don't think people would be in the comments being like, her hair's not real. Like, I just don't. I think people will probably be like, wow, she's so pretty. Wow, this is a nice thing. Like, I just think that that's gonna be the vibe. Like, I feel like it you know, I always say this, but I just feel like within the Black community, there really is a caste system, even though like people don't want to acknowledge it like that. But this like idea of like, you know, using your daughter's hair as like a one-up is a form of like elevating yourself and elevating your status. And I just think it's really nasty and gross. I feel like you just ruined the vibe, you ruined your picture, you ruined the post, and now people are talking about how you are a texturist, which I'm sure is probably kind of clear from other things. If I was to go digging, I'm sure I'd find other things that are very kind of icky about this person. But we really, like I said, like within texturism, we really need to be like centering those who have the kinkiest hair textures, who are going to face the brunt of looking farthest from the people who Sharon feels is worthy of praise. And no, this is not a way of like, you know, shouting out all natural people, because like I said, I am certain that if I post a picture of somebody, if somebody posts a picture of themselves with 4C hair and it's really kinky, there's a chance that you're gonna get dragged online. I've literally been dragged online because my hair texture is kinky, so be for real. So if you made it to the end of the video, comment, you know, this is always a thing, your favorite part of the look. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.